at home against Luton, they were always going to get the 3 points.
Yeah, so it finished. I don't really want to talk about this game really at all because it went exactly as I think you would expect. We didn't learn too much about Arsenal going into this tie, but of course we are one step closer now for both Arsenal and City to the end of the season. As it stands, 1 point separate the top three. Liverpool, of course, can go back to the top of the table, 2 points clear of Arsenal with that expected win against Sheffield United tomorrow. It's interesting after that 0-0 draw. I think a lot of us was questioning Manchester City. Like, can they put in the sort of run that we've seen in the past where they can just win out? Has today changed that rhetoric at all?
No, I don't think so. You know, I think there was enough there, particularly in the first half from Villa. A changed Villa side, no Ollie Watkins. Duran did okay. But no, nothing convinces me that City are just going to blow everybody away. I mean, I believe some of their fixtures are on the easier side. But, I mean, I don't have the answer to that, I mean, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at it, it's all paper now, isn't it? I mean, Tottenham and Brighton, up and down, Tottenham fighting for that top four.
It's brilliant, though, isn't it? Yeah. It's fantastic, because you know it's going to go down right to the wire.
It's not a particularly difficult run-in from Man City on paper. That's what I would say.
I think the Spurs and Brighton games on paper are the toughest tests. But I've been saying this for City for most of the season. They just haven't been able to keep clean sheets.
Right.
And if, as an opponent coming into City, even though you know how good they are, you know the threats that they possess, but you come in there thinking, we're going to get a chance. We can score against them, and it all comes down to how good we can be defensively. Can we force them to start to panic a little bit? So you give the opponent just that glimmer of hope, which I don't think we've been able to say about City for quite some time. Normally, when you come up against City, you know it's going to be the longest 90 minutes of your career. But I just don't get that feeling this time around. So, and I thought the games today were a good example of that. While City won 4-1, up until that Foden's first goal, City's second, you just had that element of doubt in your mind. And while Arsenal was 2-0 and they didn't score in the second half, it just felt so controlled from them. I think that's the difference between City and Arsenal, at the very least, this season.
Who's going to win the league, Don?
I think if Liverpool beat Sheffield United and beat Man United, I think they'll win the league. I think if you look at the next two fixtures, they're interesting because City have got Palace and Luton. You'd expect City to beat both of them. Arsenal have got two tricky ones. They've got Brighton away and Villa. So if Liverpool can beat Sheffield United tomorrow, which I expect them to do, then go to Old Trafford when they done them in the cup game a couple of weeks back when they got emotional. Liverpool got sucked into a cup tie. If they play it a bit more measured and they win both of their games, I think this could be Liverpool's. Yeah, I've got them favourites.
Have you got Arsenal finishing in the top four, Don?
I have, Dan. So I might owe you a few
$50 coming to me from him. Start of the season.
Oh, no, you win another bet?
I know, it's good, isn't it?
There's almost got to be some sort of unwritten rule that you can't go Don Hutchinson and Stevie Nicol.
If they want to give me money, then what am I supposed to do? I can't turn it down.
Some sort of
just ask them for $50 and just...
Hey, there's nothing comes easier than those pairs.
I know.
Did any of you used to have Chelsea in the top four? Did any of you?
Chelsea?
Yeah, no, I know it's a bit left field, but many pundits in England said Chelsea could win the league.
What? Don't.
I mean, they were out of their minds.
Don't pass the
ball. Minds.
Get them to pay you $50.
Anybody who had Chelsea?
I don't know.
I need names of people who had Chelsea to win the league.
Well, Frank would have said top four, wouldn't he? Frank would have said top four.
Let's look at the bottom standings, shall we? Just have a moment on who is going down. Sheffield United, of course, will go down. Burnley, you would expect as well. It's all been about that third place, hasn't it? Luton, you look at Luton's fixtures, you're like, yeah, they're not going to get anything from the Arsenal tie. 3 points now separate. Big win for Forest, wasn't it, against Everton? Against Fulham. Everton, meanwhile, getting that draw against Newcastle. Who have you got going down, Don?
Well, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen to Everton in terms of any more points taken off them. So that's obviously a story. Everton have got Burnley next at Goodison this weekend, which is absolutely monumental. Because I thought they were terrible. I thought they looked like a championship side against Newcastle for 45 minutes until Sean Dyche made the changes. I think it's the bottom three as it is. I think Everton if they beat Burnley, which I expect them to do. I've got, I think, Forest as well as Goodison. So they've got favourable games, winnable games at home. I'm just so scared if they get any more points. But in terms of if we park that for 1 minute, I think it's the bottom three as it stands.